Hi guys, this is Mr. Sasson and I'm here today to do Tower of God chapter 34 to chapter 31. I'm going to do this review instead of a discussion. I was planning to do a discussion this weekend but I didn't really had that much time. So instead I will do this review and I think it's a better choice because there's a lot of character development in these chapters, and also we get to see the power of a rancor and how the regulars do against a rancor in the next and final test. So with that being said, I will go right into the story because we got a lot of things to cover, a lot of information about the tower, and yeah, let's go back to chapter 34 where we left last time, and we can see that Kun, oh sorry, not Kun, Bam is a very talented guy at using Shinsho. Um, he currently is able to be right on par or even surpass Ho, and Ho is the girl with the red antler, and he is able to surpass her, almost surpass her, because right now, from what I remember, they can each be three spheres of Shinsho, and they can hit their targets. They can hit targets with them. They have these plastic balls that are floating, and they can hit and destroy the plastic balls. Anyway, that's not important. What is important here is that he only heard about the Shinsho in the last month or something like that, in the last month, and he is able to surpass someone who has been using Shinsho probably for her entire life. And because of that talent, Laure, the sleepy guy, is also training him. He's training Bam. So that makes Ho a bit jealous. She's jealous that Bam has this kind of talent, that someone who's a regular, because she doesn't know, nobody knows that Bam is an irregular, but she thinks he's a regular, and that a regular of his caliber that isn't even from one of the 10 families can have such talent, and why she cannot be on par with him. So there is a little bit of tension going on there, and it will develop further. The tension will develop further in the next test. Okay. Um, Even the teacher, uh, when he introduces the concept of a Shinsho room, even the teacher tells Bam that he is a master genius, because their teacher, the one that is dressed up like a sheep, apparently it took him years to create a room of Shinsho, but it took Bam 2 weeks, and the teacher was called a genius in his time. So what should Bam be called if this guy was a genius at using Shinsho, and he did a room in 2 years, and Bam only did it in 2 weeks? He's a super genius, at least. Um, to finish up with Bam, you can already see that Bam is manipulating Shishno better than others, and the rankers kind of noticed this. I mean, Leroro noticed that Bam has a relationship with Shinsho. The director, I keep forgetting his name, Shi-Hu Yoon, something like that. The director noticed as well. The teacher noticed, and these guys will have a lot of are going to have a lot of interest in Kun's development, because they only a few people from the tower, and that includes Zahar himself, the king himself, have such a degree of controlling Shinsho. So if this guy is a super genius, he's like a jewel. They discover the jewel, and each of them will want to put their handprint on him to train him, or to guide him to respect the, how should I say this, they would want to put him on their path, to teach them the doctrine, sort of thing. But we'll see that later. In the current storyline, Kun tells Bam about the Zahar princesses, that they have a fight, they could both be disqualified, and we can already see here a conflict in Bam, because he considers both of the Zahar princesses, even Anak, his friends, because they have been fighting together, they have been passing tests together, even if they weren't in the same team, and he feels sorry for them. He feels sorry that they have to fail because of something stupid like an injury, because they both fell and are currently injured. But Kun tells Bam, that you cannot be thinking like that. Everyone that advances in the tower makes someone fail. Even you, Bam. When you advance to the next level, that means somebody that could have been in your place fails, because only a limited number advance. So keep that in mind. Of course, Bam cannot process. He isn't made. He wasn't taught to process information like that. He still wants to find a way that everybody could climb the tower. And what does that mean? If he actually gets to the top of the tower and he is able to change the tower, then he probably make it accessible to everyone. And I did say this in my previous videos, that if Kun gets to the top of the tower and he has the power to change the tower, that will be very dangerous for everyone in the tower, because he will make the tower accessible to everyone. He will destroy all hierarchy in the tower, and that will be anarchy practically. But we will see. Another concept that I wanted to talk about was the rooms. Apparently, the rooms that they are being taught to use are the amount of Shinsho you can control. The rooms have a surface, which is the size in which you can control Shinsho, because some are able to control a Shinsho in the immediate vicinity. Some of them might be able to control Shinsho 100 meters, 200 meters away from them. So it all depends on how many rooms you can use, how big, how much surface they have, and how much volume, how much mass they have. And the mass is practically the power of the rooms, because imagine if you have a room of mass 1, but the other one has a room of mass 10 that would blow the mass 1 room right out of the way. So the rooms have surface and they have mass. Surface, in my opinion, determines the distance you can control Shinsho, and the mass the power, and the rooms the number of attacks you can do. If you have 10 rooms, you can do 10 attacks at a time. If you have 10 rooms that have a surface of 100 meters and a mass of 10, let's say, you can do 10 attacks at 100 meters with the power of 10 or 10 100, mass 100. So it's basic information, it's math, you can do the calculations for yourself. But when you think about a room, don't think like a square. Yeah, a square. A room can have more surfaces, like a room can be a hexagon, or a room can be a decagon. It can have 10 surfaces or even more. And you know from math that the more size you have, the more and more the room start to look like a circle. It will not become a circle, but the more faces you have, like a like hexagon, hexagon, decagon. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correct in English, but the more faces you have to a geometrical figure, the more and more it starts to look like a circle. So the rooms are different, and the more control you have over Shinsho, the more surface you can create and the more distance your attacks will have. So that's another thing to keep in mind, because I will be talking about it in my discussion. If the tower has maybe 1,000 levels, we don't know, and all the levels are created from Shinsho, then when you get to the top of the tower, you are supposed to be able to meet God. Then this God probably created the rooms in the tower out of pure Shinsho, the same way that they are doing right now, but they are creating small rooms because they are regular, they don't have that much power. But God could have probably created rooms the size of continents. So that's a thing to keep in mind. Going to the next topic, to Rachel. You can see Rachel spying on Bam, seeing Bam with his friends, and she is more and more concerned that if Bam has his friends near him, he will not accumulate the power he needs to go further into the tower. Because if Bam relies on his friends to get from one level to another, then he would never be put in a position where he could give his all. He could be at maximum power and surpass his current maximum power to reach a new plateau. So she's afraid that Bam will be counting too much on his friends and he will not get the development that he is able to get. And she is scheming something. We don't know what, but we can clearly see that a darker aura envelops her now when we see her in the manga. What she will do, we don't know, but I'm going to leave that subject alone. But keep an eye on Rachel, because her connection with Bam is very strange. You think at the beginning of the story that she actually loves Bam, that Bam loves her, but their connection goes much deeper and it's a connection that will end up in betrayal most probably. Now going to the final test the final test that they have to do is hide and seek, like the game hide and seek, and there are no longer teams of three. All the regulars that remain are separated into two different teams, and that will make Team A, I think, 14 members, and Team B 14 members. And because the Gator and the Irregular, the one with the spear, have already passed, so they are not participating in the final test. But the point here is that Kun and Bam are on different teams, and when the final test is over, only a team can pass, so that means only Kun or only Bam can pass. And of course, Kun's mind goes right at work to see how they can both pass, regardless of the test. And we will get to that right in a moment. But the test hide and seek is very simple. The team is placed within a center of a arena, a coliseum, an arena. This arena is very big, actually huge. It has 3 circles. You can see it you can see a clear depiction of it in the manga, and it has 2 exits. Now, if the team stands in the middle area, they are safe. Once they leave the middle area to go to the exit, they can be hunted, and they will be hunted by a ranker, by Quant. If you remember Quant is the guy that looks like a toad. I don't know exactly, he's clearly not a human, so I don't know exactly what he is, from what family he is. I don't think he's from one of the great families, but he is a ranker, which means he went to the top of the tower. Well, top of the tower, not really, because we all know that the king, Zahad, could never reach the top. So if he went probably at the higher level, at the level where Zahad was, but if Zahad couldn't get to the next levels, it will be logical to assume that these rankers cannot get to the next levels if the king could. But they are calling it the top of the tower because that's how high anyone ever reached. So the top could actually be the half, we don't know. But anyway, he's a very powerful individual, and he's going to hunt them down. And the way this is going to work is that Quant is going to have a badge, and one of the 14 members of the team has to wear their badge, and Quant is an it, and the member of the team that is wearing the badge is the other it, and the it has to catch the it. I mean, Quant has to catch the member of the team that is wearing the badge. Now these badges are made of a special material, so Kun's briefcase cannot multiply this badge, because then it would have been very simple. He would just make 14 badges and everybody would run in different directions, and they would probably succeed. But no, the badge cannot be duplified, and they have to come up with a plan to escape Quant or to catch Quant. If they catch Quant, then they win the game plus 2000 points. So there's an extra bonus because he's a ranker, and if they catch a ranker, they get a bonus. But in order to catch him, there it has to touch the badge of the member of, to be more explicit, the member of the Kun team that is wearing the badge has to touch Quant's badge. So that's pretty hard. But they decide to do it. Kun actually is Kun is being chosen as a leader, and that's pretty obvious that he would have been chosen as a leader because Kun himself he's very analytical. He's a life bearer, so he is supposed to get the team out of quote unquote dark situations. So he's being chosen as a leader, and he says, "Well, we're going to try to hunt Quan." Because as a ranker, he would probably expect us to create a plan where we can run away from him and get our it to the exit. But he would not expect us to go and hunt him, and so we will have the element of surprise. And everybody agrees to that. Some of them agree with him because of the extra bonus, 2000 point bonus. And as a parenthesis, they really need those points because, as I said in my previous movie, you cannot eat without points. And even in this chapter, we see that there's a hard princesses, both Anak and Androsi, that were injured because they failed the test. They didn't have points to eat. So Bam tricks them in a way, Bam and Kun, because Kun is the one that gave Bam the idea, but he's blackmailing them with food. He goes to Androsi and Bam says, well, sign my list that you will be my friend, because that was another test to be able to have 10 friends within a week, if you remember from our last review. And he goes to blackmail her, I'll give you the food for your signature, and he succeeds. But so the points of the test are very important. And returning back to closing the parentheses, they need those extra 2000 points. They really need them. So some of them agree to hunt Quant only because of the extra bonus. So the way they do it is they put up a bait, and the bait, of course, is Leso. And when Quant appears, they attack him. He is being taken by surprise, and the eat of the Kun team is Anak Zahar, and she actually almost manages to touch Quant's badge. There was just a few centimeters left, and she would have touched his badge, so they would have won. But Quant uses a trick. He uses a disappearing trick. He closes, the way I understand it, is that he closes himself within a room, Shinsho room. So it's like the different dimension. I'm not sure if it's a different dimension, but he disappears entirely. And they missed. But because of their boldness, Quant decides to give them a 32 minutes and 13 seconds head start. He will not move from where he was standing for 32 minutes and 13 seconds, I think. So they make a run for the exit. On the path to the exit, they set certain traps for Quant. They leave teams of 3 and 4 behind to fight Quant so they can delay him. And Kun and Nanaka are going to the exit. And if you look at the pictures in the manga, there's an higher exit of the arena, and there's a lower exit. And they are going for the higher one. And if you jump from the higher one to the lower one, you would probably die because the distance is too huge. The height is too great. But Kun has another plan in mind, and I'm getting to that. Now, when the 32 minutes are up, Quant starts chasing them. And we can see he goes through their traps very easily. He goes through their teams very easily. He beats everyone up. And he gets to the bridge, to the upper exit. He gets to the upper exit before they can cross the bridge, because from the arena to the exit there is a huge bridge, a narrow bridge but a long one, because apparently they need 15 minutes to cross it. So that's a huge bridge, a long bridge. And Quant was expecting to find Anak there, but he doesn't find her. He finds Khun. And to make a long story short, Okay, to make a long story short, Khun is letting Anak ride on one of his lighthouse. So she is below the bridge on Khun's lighthouse, and Khun is actually trying to trick Quant and he's telling him that, well, Anak is a heart princess and she can use Shinsho to strengthen her legs. So he jumped and went to the lower exit, and if you jump after her you may be able to catch her. Of course, Quant sees this deception and he says, well, no, I don't think he jumped, the height is too big, I think she's floating on one of your lighthouses. And Khun had this expression on his face like he was being caught, and that made Quant overconfident, and he takes Khun and he pushes Khun off the bridge, and they jump together because Quant doesn't want to kill Khun, but as long as Khun falls, so will the lighthouse, because the lighthouse follows the light bearer. So if Khun falls, the lighthouse will fall, and Quant will protect both of them if they fell down, so they won't die. Both Khun and Anak, they won't die, but that means that Quant would have actually catched them. But what he didn't take into the account was that there was another trap that Khun set up, and that is that both Khun and the lighthouse were tied to the bridge, to not the bridge actually, but part of the lighthouse. It's in the manga, you'll see. They were tied with ropes, and when Quant didn't know this. So when they jumped together, at one point, because they were tied with ropes, both Anak and Khun stopped falling, and Quant was the only one to go down. Now they both Khun and Anak climbed the bridge, and Anak is going for the exit, and we can clearly see that Quant falls down into the pit, and he is angry, very angry, that he was tricked like this, and he cannot jump up on the bridge on his own, and that's because in this test Quant is limited to one room of Shinsho, and one room of Shinsho isn't enough to get him on the bridge. If he would have had more rooms, that would be no problem, but he was limited because he was already too powerful as it is, and the regulars had to have a chance. If he was able to use his full power, then they wouldn't stand any chance. Anyway, as Quant was cursing that he got tricked, we can see Laure, the sleepy guy. I always have to say the sleepy guy because I like this guy. He sleeps all the time. He comes from behind and tells Quant, if you want to go on the bridge, you can. I can get you up there. I can defeat, attack a wave of Shinsho that will propagate you up onto the bridge. And of course that's what happens, and Quant takes the badge of a knock and the A team loses. Now the main question here is why Laure helped Quant, and this is all part of Khun's plan. Khun knew that if his team would have won, Bam would be left behind. But now, because they lost, Bam's team has the opportunity to go to win the test and go further beyond. And they themselves, meaning Khun and Laure, would have a ranker in their pocket, sort of thing, because the ranker, would have suffered a terrible defeat if they didn't help him. It was only by their help that he was able to win the test, and that was disgraceful in its own, that he had to rely on a regular's help in order to win the test. For him as a ranker, that is disgraceful. So Khun is counting on the fact that Bam will win the test and advance, and Quant is going to help them advance as well. And I think I will stop right here. This is already chapter 34 to chapter 41. The second part of the test, the beating, I'll probably do it today, and I'll probably go into the next floor as well. But this video is already 42 minutes and I don't want to make it any bigger. That's why I'm making more parts. So yeah, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Any rational society would either kill me or put me to some use.